Hey, okay, back for part two. I think where I left off, I was talking about Don McGregor's overwriting, and like I said, it is overwriting, but it's fun to go back to, especially in these days where you have guys writing dialogue, especially in like superhero comics and action adventure comics, where you'll get a page or two of just small talk of character A saying to character B, yeah, how you doing? Fine. Mm, chilling, stuff like that. And that will like take up, there'll be two big panels and that'll take up the whole page or whatever. I just want to give you a couple more examples here. Here's a good one. Battle Creek, Michigan has changed. Animated tigers do not shout cereal slogans, and scattered bands of humans who have evaded Earth or death or captivity are unprogrammed to expect commercial assaults at 10-minute intervals. And mod fashion honey bears no longer romp through the Saturday mornings and pseudo psychedelic cartoons. The bear has lost his cool and his audience, both obliterated by the Martian invaders who have seized Terra for their own designs. There's another good one. Basically, here one of the robots that are the androids that's been programmed to by the Martians is searching for Killraven, and he runs across an old boat captain, and he's questioning him about if you've seen Killraven or whatever. And this is what the boat commander says. Never heard of him. Look, mister, my name's Kelly. See? And all I wants to do is travel the oceans again. Chance to gaze upon the heavens. Listen to the tides and hope they can tell me what went wrong. Don't you see? You understand? Don't you, One Eye? I don't think there's any human what can tell me what a man went wrong. Maybe the oceans can, don't you see? Maybe somewhere in its depths it'll tell me about life, so I won't have to fear death no more. And here's another one I like. Basically, the group has fought against, some mutant dude or whatever, and he's run off. And Killraven says, he didn't seem very vulnerable when he hurled me through that window. Still, when he spoke, I felt a strange kinship with him, as if we share a common curse. But the October rain is all we have in common, and the sounds of thunder mocking us. I messed that up, but you get the idea. It's full of this really overly romantic, big melodramatic, captions and dialogues and things, but it's really engaging at the same time. Another interesting thing about the stories is that they all kind of seem to end on some sort of. Most of the stories seem to have some sort of moral to them, or end on some sort of ironic point or whatever. I think the overarching, most of the stories, once again, this is Silver Age storytelling, so most of the stories like 1 part, 2 part stories, but with an overarching arc. They're going on their quest, and basically, Killraven has to get back to the place of the Yellow Stones to find out whatever happened to his brother or whatever. I would say, check these comics out if you can, just because I think they're a fun change of pace from the, things you would get today. Here you've got something where obviously it's a science fiction story set in the near future, but it's obviously maybe bludgeoningly trying to make points about how people were living at that time. It was very much about the present, even if you didn't get the little ironic twist and things like that. Basically you would come out and say something. Back in 19 such and such, you thought gas prices and food prices were bad, but now, the Martians have come and they're really bad. And on like that. And it gives you a case of here's someone trying to address some of the issues and things of society at the time. The one thing I don't like about it, I'll tell you about. It's not even that. It's not a fault of the of Don McGregor or P.Craig Russell or necessarily Herb Trimpe, but Bill Mantlo. Bill Mantlo was a staff writer for Marvel Comics, and he did some interesting things and he made a name for himself. And most people probably know him from doing like Rom the Space Knights, the Micronauts. I know he's written like Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. He's done fill-in issues for, I know, definitely the Avengers. I don't know if he did any FF stuff, but he may have. I'm sure. Oh, he used to do the Incredible Hulk back in the mid '70s as well. He did a fill-in issue in here that really, like, I'm really disappointed in. Basically, the point of the story had something to do with racial conflict and things like that, and it's like it's one of the most misguided stories about that I've read in comics yet. It's one of those things where you see somebody puts out a work of art, a song, a TV show, or whatever, and they mean well, but you think, dude, have you met any Negroes? Do you know any Mexicans? Do you know any white people besides people you see on TV or at work? It's just so wrong-headed. It's really disappointing. Like I said, Bill Mantlo, I know in his personal life he went on to like work with underprivileged people or underprivileged kids and things like that. So I think he probably kind of got his head straight, but this story right here really bums me out. But anyway, that's okay. Like I said, I know the guy meant well, but it's like the worst. It kind of soured my whole like rereading of some of these stories, because it's like, oh, jeepers, man, And it also kind of it is in conflict with everything else in the fucking comic. Or, sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Where you have, white people, black people, women, there's a character in there who's supposed to be Native American, and everybody kind of acknowledges everyone's difference and diversity, but at the same time, they're all able to work together for their greater cause, and have this clunky story in there just kind of, it just kind of sours the whole thing. But anyway, if you go out and find the Essential Killraven, it's pretty cheap. It's less than $20. You get you get most of the Killraven stories that were written. You get all the ones from the 70s, and it ends with the first issue from a miniseries that was done in the 90s by, I have to pick it up here, Joseph Michael Linsner. I think that's how you say his name. I did not read that miniseries, but this first issue looks pretty interesting, pretty good, or whatever. Other thing I would suggest is just kind of, float around online or go to your local comic shop and just pick up like a random issue here or there. They're usually pretty cheap, and give it a try. Okay, so once again, I got to thank you very much for listening. If you want to talk about old comics or anything like that, give me a comment. Check out my blog. Once again, thank you very much, and you have a good one. I know I kind of rambled with this one. Forgive me.